They lied to you about holidays. And it's keeping you in spiritual bondage.
Holidays are aligned with powerful astrological portals, for example, solstices, equinox, full moons, etc., which are also times of heightened spiritual energy.
They say every single holiday that we celebrate is celebrating one of the 7 deadly sins. Every single holiday.
So, why is it that so many of us are still in the dark about this?
Why wouldn't you be in the dark? You've been trained to be in the dark.
Good rising, family. Welcome back to Lady Boss Energy, where we uplift, motivate, and inspire each other to get our shit together. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know somebody who you think would enjoy watching this, share it with them. On today's wonderful world of getting our shit together, we are looking at holidays and their origin stories. And you are going to be speechless when you see where these holidays came from and what they're representing, and the fact that these people have lied to us about everything. Listen, I know it sucks finding out that your whole reality is false. I know it is. I've been there. I went through that phase. But guess what? Once you realize that we've been lied to about everything, you can then begin to do the work that needs to be done to change it. But if we all do it individually, then as a collective, we can change this world. We can make this place a better place for everybody, for us, for our children, for our children's children, for their children, for their children's children. For real. And I know it seems impossible, but it's really not, I promise. It's affirmation time, it's affirmation time, it's affirmation time. Our first affirmation. I am surrounded by love and everything has beauty. Write down 3 things you love about yourself. I love your hair. And I like your smile. And I love your inner beauty. You are freaking gorgeous. And I love you. And I'm proud of you. Thank you. And our second affirmation says, I plant the seed of my next chapter. I am ready to grow and safe to expand. Yes, we are. And a quote of the day, because a quote a day keeps the mediocre away. The expert in anything was once a beginner. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. Hey, I know that's right. I know that's right. And when I was pulling our quote of the day, this came with it. And it says, thank you, Divine, for all the radiance in my life, big and small. And our cheesy joke of the day. Because what is a day started without a cheesy joke? Did you hear the rumor about the peanut butter? You give up? Well, I'm not telling. You might spread it. That one was really cheesy. Ain't nothing to it but do it. Let's go straight into it.
They say every single holiday that we celebrate is celebrating one of the 7 deadly sins. Every single holiday. Okay. Think about it. So the easiest one, Valentine's Day, celebrates the sin of lust.
Okay.
Christmas celebrates, here, I'm gonna show you, bro.
Okay, let me see.
Check this.
Christmas.
It's a whole list.
This Christmas.
Okay, boom. Easy one. Ready? Valentine's Day represents lust for obvious reasons. Now, Thanksgiving, that celebrates the sin of gluttony.
Gluttony, yeah, because
you're eating a lot. You're overeating. You're taking too much more than you need.
Yeah.
Now, Christmas, what do you think that is?
Christmas. Greed?
Greed. Yeah. Overconsumption and excess.
Okay.
Right? Wanting more of something.
That makes sense.
We're celebrating gifts. We're celebrating gifts. We're not really even celebrating like the birth of Christ because people are so focused on the gifts and shit. Now, Easter. This one's interesting.
I don't know.
The holiday of Easter, what sin would it be?
Easter. I don't know.
Check this out. This one gets deep.
Okay.
So they say it's envy because the Romans were jealous of Jesus, so they.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Shit.
So, St. Patrick's Day. It's sloth, Because
Why?
people get blacked out drunk.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now Halloween is what? It's wrath. So scaring and hurting people for fun. With masks, it's wrath.
Oh.
So every single one of the holidays is like a
Yeah,
seven
yeah.
deadly sin.
So
It makes sense, but they unalived Jesus.
How do you
because
think
he
people
was
would take that
teaching people who they
if
were
they
to
found
be.
out that New Year's Day isn't supposed to be in January? Is it possible we've been duped into following a calendar built for control?
Oh, it's not just possible, it's likely. January 1st, New Year's Day, is
likely,
rooted in
it is.
Roman paganism. The Romans dedicated it to Janus, their god of doors and beginnings. You know, the one with two faces looking to the past and the future? Convenient symbolism, right? Julius Caesar, the man behind the Julian calendar, reforms it in 46 BC, and the Senate later deifies him on January 1st. Suddenly, it's the new year. Coincidence? Now let's talk about logic. Starting a new year in the dead of winter when everything's frozen and lifeless? Meanwhile, ancient cultures mark the new year in March at the spring equinox, when life actually begins. Crops grow, animals stir, the earth wakes up. That's renewal. But nah, let's start it in January because control. Even the months are off. September's the 9th month, October the 10th. What are they teaching us? Math for the clueless. And don't even get me started on the lunar calendar. Natural, rhythmic, harmonious. But no, we stick with this system designed by elites who wanted you to follow their clock, their cycle. So next time you're counting down at midnight on January 1st, just know they're laughing at you. April Fools in January. How fitting.
This is
There's
just a theory, not a fact.
Listen, we are the laughing stock of the world. America is.
Quick question.
just so you know.
Can we stop celebrating New Year's in the middle of winter? First, we don't need calendars to tell us when the new year begins. The new year begins whenever the first seeds bear the first fruit and flowers. Second, King Numa Pompilius, or Emperor of Rome again, is the grandfather of the Gregorian calendar that we still follow to this day, and he only added January and February so that we could align our calendars with the lunar year because that's how they worshipped. 3, we all watching this video probably speak basic Latin, basic Spanish. We understand octo, ocho, octopus, octagon mean 8. We understand nueve, nove, novente mean 9, 9, and 90. We understand diez, dec, decimal, decagon mean 10. If octo, nove, and dec mean 8, 9, and 10, then why are October, November, and December our 10th, 11th, and 12th months? They shifted 3. You understand? So if we shift 3 from December, that's January, February, March, meaning March, the beginning of spring, i.e. when the first seeds bear the first fruit and flowers, is when the new year really begins. You understand? And it goes on to say that if we start from March, let's count. March, April, May, June, July is the 5th month. August is the 6th month. September is the 7th month again. October is the 8th month again. November is the 9th month again. And December is the 10th month again, ending the year, starting back over in March. The thing that we don't understand is that all of our days do not have the same time. All of our days are not the same length or not the same duration.
He is not wrong.
Do it bother you, white folks, that February the 2nd is Groundhog Day? Then ask yourself, what's a groundhog? If the groundhog sees his shadow, what they say? 6 more weeks of winter? Can you believe you white folks can be that silly? With all them cameras out, when it comes out the ground, that thing couldn't help but see a damn shadow. And if the groundhog sees a shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. And to think, I wanted to go to school with you. When you get home, take out your calendar. Spring is March the 21st. Count from February the 2nd to March 21st. That is 6 weeks.
He's not wrong, though. He's not wrong.
If y'all really knew what was happening on Valentine's Day, why they celebrate Valentine's Day, and why it's so associated with love. And this is why I tell you all to read. This is why I tell you all to do research. All of these holidays are pagan holidays. But this one in particular is mighty strange. Y'all don't find it weird that they have those babies on those bow and arrows? You know, the little baby with the curly hair and the, you know, butt naked. Y'all don't find that strange. Well, only if you knew. Only if you took the time to deep dive and do some research on February 14th and the significance.
Do you know the history on Valentine's Day?
I do not.
Man, what if I told you that you can Google this, that it goes back to a Babylonian custom where they worshiped a pagan god during the time of February, that dealt with Tammuz, you know, the pagan god Tammuz. And you fast forward 1,000 years, the Romans picked it up and they called it a feast of Lupercalia. And get this, guess what it was about, fam? It was about sex, fertility, and animal and children sacrifice. I kid you not. You ever question why when you see the Cupid, the dude with the arrow, why is it a naked?
Oh, I didn't know it ended like that. My bad.
Do you guys even know exactly how Valentine's Day came about? Valentine's Day is not even Valentine's Day. It's a day called Lupercalia. In the Roman times, it was called Dies Februaris. At that time, the state did not want the soldiers to be married. They wanted them strong. They were putting and setting people up to go and have sex. They were putting a bunch of ladies' names in buckets. The guy would pick out one or two. That would be their playmates for the whole year.
Oh, what?
That's when Christianity was starting to rise up in popularity.
Right.
This is just word of mouth. That's just talking. A guy called Valentine, he was a priest. So what he used to do was marry young couples in secret. Right. So when the state caught wind of that, they put him in jail. While he was in jail, he wrote a letter. He sent it to the people that he married, saying that I'm about to get executed. When he finished writing the letter, he wrote, "From your Saint Valentine." When they executed him, those people brought it to the Pope. The Pope around 496 AD, he was like, let's turn the day and make it a memorable day to Saint Valentine.
AP, that's it.
Did you know that the Tuatha tribe was the first inhabitants of Ireland? And allegedly,
I
they were all
missed the
killed by
video.
St. Patrick. They're referred to as Akin by other African tribes, but by Europeans, leprechauns, meaning small body. The average height of the Tuatha tribe, just 5 feet tall. They practiced matriarchy and had women leaders. And these leprechauns could apparently do magic. They had advanced knowledge of medicine, metallurgy, textile, and clothing manufacturing. It's important to know that at this point in time, these tribes were referred to as Naga, which translates to people of the serpent. And this theory suggests that St. Patrick didn't actually force snakes out of Ireland, but the Tuatha tribe. It was mass genocide. And the Tuatha tribe didn't have a written history or written practices. They had certain people dedicated to remember the history of their tribe. So once they were killed, the history was lost, and religious temples were built on top of where their tribe used to live.
You're celebrating the representation of the genocide and cleansing of the last serpent group on the planet, the Druids who built Stonehenge. This is going to ruin it for a lot of people that love St. Patrick's Day. First of all, it has nothing to do with Irish pride. That's how it was shown later. There's nothing to do with leprechauns or Irish pride. It has nothing to do with that.
You just killed two great fantasies.
I know.
Right,
really, if you look into what that was, is that St. Patrick, right, the St. Patrick was a Roman. His father was a Roman official, and he was tasked, just like the Roman Empire did with destroying the Gnostic people who originally were the Egyptians and burning the Library of Alexandria. He was tasked with going to Ireland and the UK and Scotland area, but we specifically think of it as Ireland because that was the core of this, right. Where they went there and they were supposed to eradicate the last group on the planet that was still studying was that ancient old religion who were known as the serpents. So if we look at the story of St. Patrick, he was ridding the serpents, the snakes, right? The snakes from Ireland. But if you look all throughout geologic history of that region, there's never been snakes that lived there. It's a metaphor. Huh. It's a metaphor for the Druid people and pagans as a more general term, anyone who didn't follow this monotheistic Christian religion. And they were seen as a threat because they were the last group that had the ancient knowledge, and they were greatly demonized later. So what happened was, you're celebrating the representation of the genocide and cleansing of the last serpent group on the planet, the Druids who built Stonehenge.
Ever wonder why we celebrate April Fool's Day in the first place? What if I told you that it's deeper than pranks? Check it out. Here are 3 theories that you probably never thought of. Theory number 1 is a calendar shift mockery. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar, and it was replacing the Julian one. And under that new calendar, New Year's Day was actually celebrated March 25th to April 1st, aligning with the spring equinox, rebirth, fertility, and balance. But under the new system, January 1st became the new year. People that didn't get the memo or the ones that just didn't want to follow by it, they still celebrated New Year's on April 1st. They were mocked, ridiculed, and called fools. This is why its origin is April Fools. Church and state said, if you honor the old rhythm of nature, we're going to humiliate you. Theory number 2, pagan mockery ritual. April 1st falls within the turn of seasons, often celebrated by ancient cultures like the Romans, the Hilaria festival, Celts and pagans, spring rites, and these traditions honored the feminine, goddess, fertility, and the earth's natural reset. But as with many things, these were flipped as well. What was once sacred became silly. What was wise became mocked. Some say April Fool's Day is a ritual inversion, turning truth seekers and earth-honoring beings into the punchline. Theory number 3 is occult inversion day. In secret society tradition, April 1st is known as the Fool's Day, but it's not in a dumb way. The Fool in tarot equals 0, which means unlimited potential, divine innocence, and the start of a hero's journey. But in modern society, they turned the fool into an idiot. It's possible that April 1st was originally a sacred portal for new beginnings, but now it turned into a mass ridicule ritual, turning people to laugh at truth and trickery alike. So what if April Fool's Day isn't just harmless fun? It may be a ritual of inversion, a mockery of the natural new year, or a distraction spell that teaches us how to celebrate distraction, confusion, and mockery, while laughing at the ones who see clearly. So the question isn't what's the prank, the real question is who's the joke really on? Comment down below if you didn't know this or if you have more information. Also like, follow, and share, and I got an ebook link in the bio.
What if they're all 3?
The things I found out was April Fool's Day, they don't talk about it, but what happened on April 1st, according to tradition in Spain, is that they told all the Moors, they said, "We've kicked out the Jews, and you're friends of the Jews, you can go. We've got ships waiting for you, you can go back to Morocco. We lost the war in Spain, but we'll let you go." And so they said, "We don't believe," well, they saw there were ships waiting for them. So they left. While they left, in between going to their ships, they burned their houses and burned the ships. So they were homeless. This was on April 1st, 1492. This becomes April Fool's Day. You've been fooled. This is the denigration of the Moors, which is by the Catholic Church. The siege of Granada, they built the town of Santa Fe.
I had no idea.
Can we talk about the dark history of Easter? You gotta make sure you check outside. Sorry to say that Easter has nothing to do with Jesus. Many aspects of traditional Christianity, holidays, practices, doctrines, the bunnies, the eggs, springtime, came not from Christ or the Bible but came from pagan religion. Easter Sunday is a Babylonian pagan holiday, which idolizes the fertility goddess Ishtar. Worshipping Ishtar was intended to ask for her blessing of fertility on the crops and everything else. On the first Sunday after the full moon, they would celebrate by baking cakes, getting drunk, and committing other heinous crimes. Women were required to celebrate the conception by laying down at the temple of Ishtar and having relations with anybody who walks in. There is a very, very dark history on why they color eggs. Babies were sacrificed, and the blood of the infants were dipped in the eggs for Ishtar. Want to know the reason there's a bunny rabbit? Rabbits can bear several litters of young each year, meaning they have high fertility. Decorating eggs seems harmless until you consider the origins of it. None of this had to do with Christianity. The bunnies and the eggs are not as simple as they seem, and this holiday is not holy. Y'all be safe.
A bunny rabbit laying eggs comes from a pagan goddess called Ashtoreth in the Old Testament. Ashtoreth. It's a goddess that has a lot of mammaries, breasts. Can I say that? Breastises. Breasts. If you can Google it, Ashtoreth, Asuras, you'll see a woman with a lot of breasts. And that's where Easter comes from. Israelites never celebrated that. Europeans celebrated that, but not the disciples. Like when you read in Acts 12, the word Easter is there. I'll show you. Acts 12, let's start at verse 1.
This is the
We're
book
going here because we're going to see what holiday did the Israelites celebrate. Go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 12, verse 1. Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church.
Herod the king was Jewish. When I say Jewish, I mean he was a European convert, a white convert, a Roman convert to be exact. He converted to Judaism, and he was called Jewish. That's the word ISH. Like if I say, hey sis, meet me around 5-ish. What does that mean? 5-ish.
Around 5. Just
around 5.
Yeah.
Not exactly 5, but
yeah, somewhere around.
When someone says they're Jewish, they're letting you know they're not the real Jews, but there's something like that. They only kept the religion. That's what they do.
I didn't know that.
So that was Herod. Read that again.
Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also.
Now I was going to tell you what they celebrated. Go ahead.
Then were the days of unleavened bread.
The days of unleavened bread is Passover. That was another name for Passover. That's what we celebrated. Go ahead.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
Well, who was celebrating Easter? It wasn't the Jews. Because verse 3 says, then were the days of unleavened bread. That's what we were celebrating. So what is this Easter? Where does it come from? It's a word right there. When you go to 1 Kings 11, verse 33, here's a precept. All of you at home watching, take your notebook, fact check, get a Bible dictionary, look these words up. Go ahead, read that.
1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 33. Because that they have forsaken me.
We forsook God.
And have worshipped Ashtoreth.
See that word Ashtoreth? When you look it up, it's Easter. So it was a goddess of fertility. That's what it was. Go ahead.
The goddess of the Zidonians.
That's the goddess of the Zidonians. That's where the word Easter comes from. Easter is Ashtoreth, is Esther. Esther is the same as Easter. It's a Persian goddess, an African goddess. That's what it is. So, because her name, Esther, her name was Hadassah. The Persians called her Esther, their goddess name. Esther is Easter. It's the same word. The same word. Black Christians don't look things up. We are furthering another generation of Christian dummies who don't know anything, just do it because it's socially acceptable, bringing damnation to your soul.
Mother's Day is satanic. It was a festival that was used to honor false mother goddesses. A false mother goddess like Rhea. This goddess is referred to the Queen of Heaven in the Bible. The same goddess that represents Easter. She was a mother goddess by many, many, many names. Over time, these goddesses took on different names, but it's the same deity. Valentine's Day, mother goddess. Easter, mother goddess. Mother's Day, mother goddess. It's the same deity. They just taking on different names. These were all satanic and demonic ceremonies that came out of Babylon. What happened was the Roman Catholic Church adopted these pagan traditions to honor their own version of Mary. Celebrating Mother's Day is an abomination to the Most High God because you are following the occult practices that was used to worship false gods. In Exodus, it clearly says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." Now let's read the scripture about honoring our father and mother. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. It says clear as day, honor your father and your mother. Not just one day. This means all the time. When you honor your father and your mother one time out of the year, then that turns into worship. It turns into idolizing your mother and you making your mother idolatry. Because back in the ancient times, if you wasn't worshiping the Most High God, Yahuwah, then you was rendering your worship to demons. Who else you go worship besides God, the Most High God, Yahuwah? Demons. Then the demons took the form of false gods. Then the false gods took the form of these holidays. So if these holidays and these false gods come from demonic energy, then that means when we worship and honor these holidays, we're giving praise and honor to demonic energy. I mean, God Yahuwah knows our heart. He know we ain't praying to no demons, especially intentionally. But we are following their practices. So that's even worse. But the Mother's Day holiday came from Anna Marie Jarvis. She created it after her mother died on May 12, 1907. She commemorated the day. In 1914, President Wilson made it official holiday. So it wasn't until the president that it became an official Mother's Day holiday. But when this lady commemorated Mother's Day in 1907, all she did was copy the pagan beliefs and the pagan practices that came out of Babylon. So there you go. There is no Mother's Day. This is a festival, satanic festivals that they had created back in the Roman and the Greek and the Babylonian days. And we ain't do nothing but just picked it up. It was passed on to us, and now we doing it. Now we honoring our mothers like they're goddesses. And there are scriptures in the Bible to back this up, that this stuff really happened. Like this scripture in Jeremiah. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. So there you go. For their mother goddess, they was baking cakes, getting drinks, pouring it out, giving offerings to her. The same thing we do on Mother's Day. We give her offerings, give her gifts, like she's some type of goddess. No, she's our mother, and she ain't just our mother for one day out of the whole year. She's supposed to be the mother every day, all year. So when you do that for one day, you are practicing mother goddess worship, and that is abomination to God Yahuwah, the Most High God.
So I decided that this year last year was my last year celebrating birthdays, celebrating holidays, any of that stuff. If you need a holiday to want to spend time with me, if you need a holiday to want to celebrate me being a part of you, keep it. I don't want it. I don't want it. And so I didn't know all of these. I knew some of them, but I don't, like, these people have real life. They're ruiners. They're ruiners. That's the best way I can put it. And these are the same people that are essaying children and doing nasty things. Yeah, these people that made these holidays and told us that the origin of them is wild, but then they told us that it meant this.
Didn't I tell y'all when y'all see this face that I'm about to drop a truth bomb on you? For those of y'all that like to celebrate Mother's Day, boom! Get your mom one of these. I just want to say happy. I'm going to hold off on saying that, because we about to see the truth bomb about what this really means. Y'all already know I got to talk about this. Now, y'all can celebrate if you want to. I'm just bringing the history about this. I am all for celebrating your parents, celebrating your husband, your wife, your kids. We just need to understand why it is on a Sunday and what this means, where this come from. Do you know that Mother's Day is associated with this goddess named Rhea? Right here, this is a depiction of her. This is also another depiction of her, and it's also sun worship. This is why Mother's Day is on Sunday. Just like Easter is the worship of the Assyrian Babylonian goddess Ishtar, another false god. A Mother's Day celebration started because of a story in Greek mythology. It revolves around Rhea, and we seen her, who was Mother Earth's daughter. Rhea was known as the mother of gods and represented nature and fertility. A festival would be held each year in spring to celebrate and honor goddess Rhea. Another pagan goddess, another pagan god. This is the truth bomb about this day. This is the history and the origins of this pagan holiday. Once again, not trying to tell people what to do, but you can celebrate your mother, your father any day. You don't have to do it today on May the 11th, 2025. Love on your mother and your father every day, all the time. Something that I just want to mention that's on my heart. I wonder what they do with all this money we spend on all these pagan holidays that they have created for us to follow and indulge in. Isn't it something to think about, right? Also, I want to mention too, if you don't love and respect your mom before May the 11th, but then on May the 11th, you want to give cards and you want to say certain things, Happy Mother's Day. Isn't it hypocritical? It's hypocritical to do all of that on Mother's Day or even Father's Day, but then you turn around after today and disrespect her. You don't honor her. It's like very hypocritical. May the Lord bless and keep all the real moms out there. And if you are mourning your mom, I pray that the Most High Yahuwah heals you, comforts you, and restores you and keep you in all your ways.
What if I told you Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day and originated from Black Americans? Picture this. In 1865, a group of freed black folks dig up a mass grave to honor the dead, but why? Let's find out. Right after the Civil War, in Charleston, South Carolina, 28 formerly enslaved black workers took matters into their own hands, y'all. They found a mass grave of Union soldiers, heroes who fought for their freedom, left in the dirt. So they exhumed every body, gave them proper burials, and carved martyrs of the race courses on the site. 2 weeks later, thousands of freed folks, kids, and soldiers marched to the cemetery. They laid flowers, gave speeches, and picnicked, celebrating the lives lost for their liberation. They called it Decoration Day, and it's the true start of what we now know as Memorial Day, a holiday born from black gratitude. Black folks started Memorial Day, but history tried to hide it. Let's give them their flowers today. Drop Decoration Day in the comments if their story hits you. Comment ebook to get our free 5-story ebook, and don't forget to follow for more hidden black history.
Here's the real history of Memorial Day, which many people don't know. Every fourth Monday in May, the United States celebrates Memorial Day. Originally known as Decoration Day, Memorial Day is a federal holiday honoring and mourning the military personnel who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. But this wasn't its original intent. It was originally a day created by freed Africans to celebrate those who fought for their freedom. In February 1865, the Confederate soldiers surrendered to the Union Army, leaving in their wake more than 250 Union soldiers buried without coffins at the Washington Racecourse, which was a Charleston, South Carolina horse track used by Confederates as a prison for captured Union soldiers. In April 1865, about 24 freed Africans volunteered to dig up those bodies and rebury them in rows of marked graves. They reinterred the bodies in the new cemetery with a tall whitewashed fence inscribed with the words, Martyrs of the Race Course. 1 month later, on May 1st, 1865, about 10,000 people, mainly formerly enslaved people, turned out for a memorial service organized by freed Africans. 3,000 black children carried flowers and sang John Brown's Body, also known as the Battle Hymn of the Republic. This all took place at least 3 years before the national holiday started, which was stolen from our ancestors. So each Memorial Day, I choose to honor everyone who fought against slavery, especially those who took part in the more than 250 slave rebellions and insurrections in North America.
Shit makes me so mad.
People be like, Father's Day is coming. What shall we do? What we gonna do? Man, the hell with Father's Day. I refuse to be acknowledged one time out of the year. And if you acknowledging your father one time out of the year, then shame on you. Because your father been asking for help, been asking you to call him, been asking you to come over there and cut that grass, been asking to borrow money, but you act like he wasn't even there. You ignored him. But when the month of June come, oh, Father's Day is coming. Now you can cut his grass. Now you can buy him something. Now you'll let him borrow something. Now you'll talk to him on the phone. And to be honest with you, if you do your research, Father's Day was for deceased fathers, not for living fathers. While a time to honor and celebrate fathers, Father's Day was inspired by tragedy. In December 1907, the Monongah mining disaster killed 361 miners, with 250 of these men being fathers. Grace Golden Clayton was one of the people who lost their fathers due to the mining disaster, and she suggested to her minister that a special service be held to honor the fathers who were lost in this tragedy. So the idea of Father's Day came from Grace Clayton, this woman. And it was a service not just to her father who she lost, but to all fathers. It was an honor to all fathers that died. So where did this trash come from? It came from Sonora Smart Dog, the woman behind Father's Day. See, this holiday also exposes the hypocritical black people. You know, the ones that always say, yeah, we got melanin and white people don't. They want to be like us. White people this, white people that. The reason we're in position we is because of the white man. She made a suggestion to the Young Men's Christian Association to establish June 5th, her father's birthday, a holiday dedicated to all fathers. So Father's Day started with deceased fathers. Then when it got in this woman's hand, it was dedicated to her father's birthday. So not only all these black people are breaking their necks to celebrate something that came from a woman, but a white woman at that. And not only that, it's also dedicated to a white man, which was her father. I ain't trying to be racial. I ain't trying to say it's something wrong with black people celebrate something that came from a white person. I ain't saying that. I'm talking to the black people who speak out as black excellence and black power and say the white man this, white man that, white man racist. But y'all out here celebrating things that come from white people, and y'all don't acknowledge June 10th, but y'all acknowledge these holidays that came from white people who you say the enemy. And what black people also gotta remember is that in 1910, that's when this woman suggested for this commemoration. Do you know what was happening to black people in 1910? This was a time of segregation against black people. The Jim Crow laws was in full effect. Basically a law to clown and disrespect and use derogatory terms towards black people. So in the early 1900s, when they made this a national holiday to all fathers, couldn't have been talking to black fathers because we wasn't even considered a man. We wasn't even considered half a man. According to Malcolm X and what he said, we was considered, I believe he said, 3/5 of a man. Like lower than dogs. It wasn't until President Nixon made this a national holiday all over the world. And that's how you got Father's Day. But in the next video, we're going to talk about the pagan origin of where this holiday really come from. Father's Day was celebrated way before it was adopted in the United States. In the ancient times, the origins of Father's Day was for ceremonies to their gods. This tradition is traced all the way back to Babylon. Before it was a holiday, it was considered a pagan ceremony to their gods. In the year 321 after Christ, there was an emperor named Constantine. Constantine passed a law that required Christian believers to stop worshiping the Most High on Saturday and to worship their gods on Sunday. The reason everybody go to church on Sunday is because of him. The reason everybody celebrate Mother's Day on Sunday is because of him. The reason everybody celebrate Father's Day on Sunday is because of him. The reason everybody celebrate Easter on Sunday is because of him. Saturday is the Sabbath of the Most High, but he changed it to Sunday so all the Christian believers and all the believers can worship his gods. And those who didn't follow this law was quickly put to death. It's important to know that Mother's Day and Father's Day is revolved around sun worship. See, they didn't believe in the Most High. They believe in the earth. They believe in the sun. That was their gods. So when the summer solstice came about, this is how they celebrated. When the sun is at its highest elevation and the earth is tilted toward the sun. And this was known as the Great Sky or Sky Father, which was also a part of the pagan ritual and the pagan festival of Litha, which was dedicated to a Celtic god named Lugh or Lugh, aka Holly King. He was known as the Lord of the Winterwood. But like all pagan satanic rituals, it was all later Christianized and adopted by the Roman Catholic Church. And today it is known as St. John's Day in the Roman Catholic Church. Then the USA and other countries adopted it as Happy Father's Day. Let's see what the Bible has to say about these satanic pagan traditions. Mark 7:7-9. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. You have let go of the commands of God and are holding on to human traditions. And he continued, you have a fine way of setting aside the commands of God in order to observe your own traditions. And if you look at what's going on in the world today, that's exactly what the world is doing. People are putting aside the commandments of the Most High to honor and worship and celebrate traditions that came from worshiping and honoring demons, from ancient people who were celebrating their false gods who was demons. So people hold Easter all the way up here, right? But when the Passover comes, these same people, they don't celebrate the Passover. And the Passover is directly from the Most High. But they don't celebrate it. They just put it to the side and celebrate Easter instead. Easter is a pagan holiday. They'd rather celebrate Easter, a pagan holiday, than to celebrate a commemoration to the Most High, which is the Passover.
This is why I bet not catch any black Americans celebrating on this devilish day. In 1776, America declared independence, shouting about liberty and all men created equal. A beautiful dream, right? But for nearly 4 million black people, that dream was a nightmare. They were enslaved, property, not citizens. Imagine celebrating freedom while being held in chains. While white Americans lit fireworks and feasted, black families were being torn apart, brutalized, and denied every single right. The very liberty being celebrated was built on their bondage. In 1852, Frederick Douglass asked the chilling question,
"What to the slave is the 4th of July?"
His answer?
A day that reveals to him, more than all other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim.
He said,
"This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn."
While some enslaved people were given barbecues by their enslavers, it was a cruel mockery of true freedom. The holiday became a stark reminder of their oppression. Even after slavery, black Americans faced Jim Crow, segregation, and systemic racism. The 4th of July became a symbol of unfulfilled promises. So when you see those fireworks, ask yourself, whose freedom are we truly celebrating? Don't let history be erased. Drop a broken heart emoji if this opened your eyes and follow for more hidden truths.
If you're melanated, I'm sorry. I really
Why is it the 4th of July? Because the Declaration of Independence, mostly wrote by Thomas Jefferson, who was all of these things, got it signed on August 2nd, 1776, but was finally approved by Congress on July 4th, 1776. The Declaration proclaimed they were no longer at war with Great Britain, and the US was their own independent nation. Woo! Now all they had to do was murder the people still living on the land, buy and keep slaves to the real work the backbone of this country was actually built on, and all that would be kinda hard, seeing as Europe abolished slavery, and for some reason was trying to tell the US to stop torturing humans, and thus the lifelong injustices to brown people were celebrated with the fireworks and hamburgers. The end.
Did you think birthdays were harmless fun? But what if happy birthday is one of the most common spell rituals of Earth, complete with chanting, fire, and subconscious aging agreements? Let's break it down. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's a global ritual and it has all the elements of spell casting. Every birthday includes repetitions, singing the same chant every year, candle magic, fire, wish, breath, intention, a vibrational frequency, everyone sings the same melody, a time-based trigger linked to the solar return, and a verbal contract. You are now X years old. It sounds like an age binding spell and you agreed to it. And so did your cells. So let's talk about the candle ritual. Fire plus wish plus breath equals spell manifestation. You make a wish, you speak a desire. You blow out the flame, which is a symbol of spirit. You say nothing out loud because if you speak, they say that it won't come true. It's literally sigil-based manifestation rituals with inversions. Keep your wish silent and keep your power sealed. And you're doing this as a child every year without question. So the birthday is an aging spell agreement. Each year you accept a new number. You declare, I am 7 now, or I'm 30 now. Everyone else confirms it as a collective. It's a collective identity reinforcement based on number, not essence. And that number, it becomes tied to your identity. Carries society's expectations. Determines your worth, ability, looks, health, and roles. And you don't just age biologically. You age mentally, socially, and energetically. Happy birthday to you. is the most sung song on earth. So let's vibe check it. It's repetitive, slightly minor key, odd vibration. It's a robotic delivery, happy birthday to you. And it ends in an awkward pause or a joke about dying. The most universal song, and is not even uplifting. It's entrainment through sound. So who are you really celebrating? Birthdays became commercialized in the 1800s. And it was mass commercialized by Hallmark and other industries. And it's less about your soul's arrival and more about gifts, sugar overload, social proof, group identity lock-in. The real you gets lost in ritual and is replaced by the birthday you. So it doesn't mean to cancel birthdays, it just means to reclaim them. Instead of aging, you can say, I'm entering my next spiral of expansion, or I have grown in light, or I'm constantly expanding my light, or whatever resonates with you. And instead of blowing your candle and wishing, just blow your candle and speak your truth into the candle. And celebrate not how long you survived, but how much light you've expanded and activated. So happy birthday can be a whole ritual if you think about it. It could be the very reason why people actually age. Just say goodbye to unconscious aging. And hello to external expansion. Leave a comment if you didn't know this or if you know other stuff, and like, comment, and share. I have an ebook in my bio if you like this stuff.
I have stopped aging. And you can too.
On birthdays, you don't like birthdays?
No.
No, not into that.
No. We came here not knowing that we were going to die. Somebody told us that. And if we never knew we were going to die, we wouldn't celebrate a birthday, because we...
But isn't it nice to celebrate the day you was born?
I'll celebrate the day I die.
Because you're going to move on to the next path in life.
Yes. Both, for example, you had how many birthdays?
Me? What do you think?
Well, I know that you had one birthday.
Yeah.
You were born
Yeah.
on a certain day.
Absolutely.
You had no more birthdays after that. So I don't celebrate birthdays, so that stops me from counting days, which stops me from counting time, which allows me to still look the same as I did 10 years ago, just like that
It makes sense why he looks so good, because he ain't never had, I don't think he ever had like
The hidden story of Labor Day, September's forgotten struggle. Most Americans today see Labor Day as the unofficial end of summer, barbecues, sales, and one last long weekend before school starts. But behind the holiday lies a hidden history of struggle, sacrifice, and even bloodshed, roots that many have forgotten. Labor Day was born from the labor movement of the late 19th century, a time when workers endured 12 to 16-hour days, 6 or 7 days a week, in unsafe factories, with little pay and no rights. Children as young as 10 toiled in mills and mines. By the 1880s, workers had begun organizing strikes across the country, demanding dignity and fair treatment. In New York City on September 5, 1882, the first Labor Day parade took place. 10,000 workers marched through Union Square, not with floats and music, but with banners demanding shorter hours and better conditions. But here's the hidden darker side. The federal government didn't officially recognize Labor Day until 1894, and it wasn't born out of celebration. It was born out of tragedy. That year, the Pullman strike in Chicago had paralyzed railroads nationwide. President Grover Cleveland sent federal troops to break the strike. The confrontation turned violent and more than 25 workers were killed, with hundreds injured. The nation was shocked. In an attempt to calm public outrage and make peace with workers, Congress rushed a bill to create a federal holiday honoring labor. Within just 6 days of the massacre, Labor Day became official. The hidden truth? The holiday was as much a political move to pacify workers as it was to honor them. Some historians even argue it was chosen in September, rather than May 1st, the International Workers' Day, because May Day was too closely tied to radical labor movements and global calls for revolution. So when Labor Day falls on September 1st, it's not just the end of summer. It's a silent reminder of the workers who marched, who sacrificed, and who even died so future generations could have weekends, safety regulations, and the 8-hour workday. The hidden secret of Labor Day. It's not just about rest, it's about remembering the cost of dignity and the people who fought for every right workers now take for granted.
You've been celebrating Labor Day all wrong. Forget barbecues and end-of-summer sales. Here's the raw truth about Labor Day. This will change your Labor Day plans forever. 1. Hidden origins. Labor Day isn't just a holiday. It's a battle cry from 1882, when workers fought against brutal 70-hour work weeks. 2. Not a universal day off. Think everyone's resting? Think again. Many still work on Labor Day, thanks to loopholes in the law. Remember, this day was once about workers' rights, unity, and change, not just grilling burgers. Break the cycle. Share the truth, and let's reclaim the spirit of Labor Day.
They lied to you about holidays, and it's keeping you in spiritual bondage. Christmas, Easter, Halloween, none of these come from the Bible. In fact, they're actually rooted in pagan worship and false traditions. Jeremiah 10 literally warns us against decorating trees. Think that's not about Christmas? Think again. Easter comes from Ishtar, goddess of fertility and war. Those eggs and bunnies, straight fertility symbols. Nothing to do with Yahushua's resurrection. Halloween, that's the worship of the dead, mixing clean with unclean spirits. Yahuwah gave us his own set-apart days, the feast. But religion swapped them out for man-made festivals, just to keep you disconnected from covenant. They want you celebrating what he hates and ignoring what he actually commanded. It's time to come out of Babylon and return to the appointed times Yahuwah gave us. Follow if you're ready to learn more truth, and share this with someone who thinks they know the holidays. This is your wake-up call.
Do you know the Halloween theory?
Oh no.
Or the origins of Halloween?
No, there's an origin of Halloween?
Yeah. So it's said that Halloween, October the 31st, is actually the only day in the year where the underworld has access to the overworld. So what happens is the dead are able to come to the surface, come to our world, and try to steal a soul from the living.
What?
So the reason everybody dresses up is because the dead come and look for souls from the living.
And we camouflage?
So we camouflage and pretend we're dead. So we dress up as people from the underworld so that the dead won't take our souls. Now listen, right?
Why?
Now, the reason we give candy out to everybody is because supposedly the only way to keep your soul is to give to the peasants. Like back in the day, they would give to the peasants. They would give food to the peasants because it's like cleaning your soul. It's like giving charity, right?
Buckle up, I'm about to take y'all for a ride. This story goes way back and it's gonna weave us through culture, legends, and cosmic beliefs until we land right here at what we know as Halloween today. Let's start with the OG goddess Hathor from ancient Egypt. She's the goddess of the dead and cosmic royalty. Hathor, the triple goddess, she embodies both masculine and feminine energy. Kind of like when you're looking at the Baphomet and you see male traits as well as feminine. They do that a lot in Egyptian mythology. And this is to show the duality. Hathor's energy comes straight from the star, the Pleiades star cluster to be exact. Ancients used to call the Pleiades star system Kayama. They believe that souls from Kayama influence the earth with things like love, creativity, knowledge, occult wisdom, even beauty and music. These souls are the divine children of the goddess with 10,000 names. These souls carry their cosmic wisdom straight back to us. When I say Hathor's influence is literally in the stars, that's exactly what I mean. The Pleiades rise in mid-November. That's right around the corner. And I don't want to get too far off track, but speaking of November, there is a lot that will go down. Y'all know what I'm gonna tell you. Keep your head on the swivel. Usually watch out for November 1st for sure. A lot of energy harvesting probably gonna be going on. This is usually around the time when they give people the story of like celebrities dying or something major happening. This is in preparation to harness that energy for the winter solstice. But I might have to do another video to break that down. Let me stay on course. Mid-November is when the ancient Egyptians used to throw massive celebrations in honor of Hathor. It was their version of the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a time to connect with the spirits that departed and to gain their protection. Hathor has a temple called the Temple of Dendera. In this temple, the oldest zodiac calendar known to man is inscribed on the walls. This calendar shows us how deep their knowledge of the stars went. Because remember, time was measured in cycles back then, not this chronos system that we use now. What we know today as witchcraft, ancients used to call those people seers and wise women, not witches. They wore tattoos of snakes for healing and protection. Now, I have broken down snakes and serpents so many times. Y'all remember it's all connected. These seers and wise women could predict futures, heal venomous bites, diagnose illnesses well before doctors came along. Most powerful goddesses like Hathor, such as Isis, as well as Mut, all held this sacred wisdom. Hathor, which is the bull constellation herself, because remember, these are allegories and metaphors in Egyptian mythology, and these stories were stolen and put into the Bible. Hathor is connected to Naga, aka Venus. I done already broke down Venus for y'all in multiple videos. Venus, aka Lucifer, which is the planet of love and beauty, but also the light bringer. But as time passed, these people of Naga, aka people that look like me, fell into confusion walking around mortals and forgot who they were. They lost touch with their divine purpose. It's kind of like what we seeing right now today. I mean, much hasn't changed since then. As these traditions flowed across culture, we see the Celts in ancient Europe celebrating Samhain. This is done at the end of harvest season. Pay attention to all of these words. They believed that on October 31st, the veil between worlds was real thin. That's when the spirits roam free, like you can actually see them. So it said people wore masks and lit bonfires for protection. It said that was a little trick to keep wandering spirits at bay. I don't know how well that worked though. And I could see the fire because it's an element, but I don't know what the mask would be doing. Christianity spread, they rebranded Samhain as Hallows Eve. They were not only honoring the dead, but they were honoring the saints as well, also keeping them old traditions alive. Fast forward to America, where Irish immigrants brought along their custom, added in jack-o'-lanterns, which was inspired by Celtic folklore, and trick-or-treating. This is rooted in the ancient practice of feeding food to spirits. Eventually, it all evolved into costumes, Halloween candy, and haunted houses. We were always taught and told that Halloween was evil. The truth is, Halloween's roots are ancient and sacred, definitely way deeper than candy. It's a blend of honoring the dead and connecting with the unseen, remembering our ties to divine knowledge and cosmic wisdom. From Hathor and the Pleiades, the Naga and Samhain, today's Halloween, it's all connected. Awaken your higher self and remember that Halloween is a powerful lineage of magic, as well as mystery and the respect for the spirits that came before us. Light a candle today. Clean your house with some Florida water. Burn some sage, Palo Santo, cedar, whatever floats your boat. Just remember, if you need any of these tools, I got you. I'll add the link to my new Botanica store in the captions, as well as link below. Make sure y'all get in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
The real history behind this holiday. Growing up, I knew that what they told you in school about Thanksgiving wasn't true. That's not the true story. The true story behind Thanksgiving was, after every killing of a whole village, these European settlers celebrated it, and they called it Thanksgiving. But it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln became president that it became an official holiday.
We take this time to remember our elders who lost their lives due to what really happened.
Growing up, I would be kind of annoyed that they didn't know what actually happened on Thanksgiving, and that they're actually celebrating the deaths of many people and many tribes that were lost.
Happy Thanksgiving, America.
These people fucking piss me off.
Did you know every time you celebrate Thanksgiving, you are giving your energy to a dark ritual rooted in genocide, conflict, and blood? People that are knowledgeable about indigenous spiritual practices are well aware that offerings are often given to ancestors and other deities as a form of gratitude or to ask for their assistance. When these offerings are given, the ceremony is called a ritual. When you purchase a turkey and other groceries to prepare for this tradition, you are participating in a ritual. When your family gathers at the table to take part in these traditions, you are participating in a ritual. Although you may have a clear vision of all the things you are thankful for, and you may even have your own reason for celebrating, what really matters is the original intention that was set for this holiday. Who are you really giving thanks to, and what are you really giving thanks for? In order to answer these questions, we need to go back to the 1600s, when the Pilgrims of Plymouth, United Kingdom landed on the shores of Cape Cod, which is modern-day Provincetown, Massachusetts. It is said that they set sail seeking economic and religious freedom in the New World. The first time that they arrived, they left with hundreds of enslaved natives, and they left behind smallpox. The native inhabitants of that area consisted of various tribes, including the Wampanoag people and the Pequot people. They were there for over 10,000 years before the Europeans Europeans arrived. The natives that were there, specifically a man named Squando of the Wampanoag tribe, helped them, and he taught them how to plant crops, including corn, as well as where to fish and hunt. As a child, we're taught that the Pilgrims created this feast called Thanksgiving to show their gratitude to the natives for teaching them how to live off the land. But this, like many other things taught in school, is only partially true. They don't tell you about the Puritans that came after hearing of the success of the New World and started warring with the Pequot tribe over their land. They were enslaving and killing the native people left and right. Massacres were taking place every day, just like Columbus did to the Arawaks, and just like Leopold did to the Congolese, and many more. It's the same story in a different location. Every time they successfully destroyed the people of these tribes, they would have a feast and give thanks. They were celebrating the victory of murdering your ancestors, and every time you sit down to celebrate Thanksgiving, whether you realize it or not, you are doing the same. The Pequot War was one of the bloodiest Native American wars ever fought. In 1637, near present-day Groton, Connecticut, the Pequot people gathered for their yearly Green Corn Festival, which was their version of Thanksgiving. In the late night hours, the English and Dutch forced the sleeping natives out of their homes and proceeded to murder and enslave their men as their women and children stood by and watched in horror. The next day, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving. These Thanksgiving feasts continued after every massacre until George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside. Every year when you celebrate this holiday, this is what you're giving your energy to. Many of you will say that you're only celebrating for the food or to spend time with family and friends, not realizing that as long as you are putting energy into this holiday, you are taking part in their ritual. I challenge you to create your own day of gratitude, one that isn't rooted in murder. Let me know in the comments when you stopped celebrating Thanksgiving. And if you haven't, when do you plan to stop participating in this tradition of making a mockery of your people?
I stopped last year. Was my last year.
Back in the days of slavery, the African American slaves would cook up a nice Thanksgiving turkey meal for their masters and entertain them throughout the night. They would force the slaves to entertain their friends and family, who would then vote on which slave was the best entertainer and which was worst. The loser were then sold at auction the next day, which they called Black Friday. The slave purchasers knew the day following Thanksgiving there would be an auction, so that go prepared for the sale. They would get up early every morning, hoping they would be the first one in line, similar to today's Black Friday. Hundreds would show up hoping they could be the first to purchase the slaves that were on sale. This was the one day out of the year that the slaves were reduced in price.
Let us not forget the real reason for the season. Let us not forget that Santa is an anagram for Satan. That's why they say jingle bells, jingle balls. They have the morning star right on top of the tree. The serpent coming down the tree. The torch of Lucifer and Nimrod, the morning star. Nimrod, birthday the December 25th, right? Well, as we all know in this whole awakening process, there's levels to this, right? Like, this is kind of basic level, right? The creme de la creme level of awakeness is religion. Once you understand that all religion is a lie, like Lucifer is Jesus, Nimrod is Lucifer, is Jesus, is the morning star. It tells us in the Bible, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star. He literally says he is the morning star. And you guys do know that Christmas was illegal in the U.S. until 1836.
I didn't know that.
It was considered an ancient pagan holiday. And what a coincidence, 1836, right? What is it, 1848, that separation of church and state happened? What a perfect timing. What a perfect timing to just sneak that December 25th date in there as if we didn't know it was the birthday of Nimrod. Meh.
Come on, man.
Christmas isn't what you think it is. What I found out about these 10 traditions will ruin the holidays forever. Number 4 involves child sacrifice, and it's still practiced today. Here's 10 horrifying Christmas traditions you didn't know about. 1. Santa Claus was based on a kidnapper. The original Santa legend comes from Krampus's partner, who would lure children with gifts before taking them. The red suit was meant to hide bloodstains. 2. Mistletoe was used for poison. Mistletoe is actually toxic and was used in ancient rituals to poison enemies. Kissing under it symbolized a death pact between lovers. 3. Christmas trees mark sacrifice sites. Evergreen trees were planted where human sacrifices took place. Decorating them was meant to honor the spirits of those who died there. 4. Krampus still takes children. In parts of Europe, Krampus night is real. Children who misbehave are taken by men in demon costumes. Some kids never come back, and authorities call them runaways. 5. Candy canes represent blood. The red stripes on candy canes originally symbolized the blood of Christ, but in pagan traditions, they represented the blood of sacrificed children. 6. Christmas carols were death chants. Many classic Christmas carols were originally sung during executions and funerals. Silent Night was performed at mass graves during the plague. 7. Gingerbread men represent victims. Gingerbread cookies shaped like people were baked to represent human sacrifices. Eating them symbolized consuming the flesh of the offering. 8. Santa's elves were demons. In original folklore, Santa's helpers weren't cute elves. They were demonic creatures that tortured naughty children in his workshop before Christmas morning. 9. December 25th is a pagan death day. Christmas wasn't originally about Jesus. December 25th was a pagan holiday celebrating the winter solstice, a day when the veil between life and death was thinnest. 10. The 12 Days of Christmas is a curse. The song 12 Days of Christmas is actually a coded message about a curse. Each gift represents a stage of possession, ending with 12 drummers drumming, the sound of your final heartbeat. Will you ever look at Christmas the same way? Drop a Christmas tree emoji if you're creeped out. Follow for more holiday horrors you wish you never knew.
Santa is Satan. So this is Santa with the reindeers, and this is the god Saturn, also known as Saturno. The Roman god Santa is always depicted with a long grey beard, holding a scythe in his hand because he's the god of harvesting and time. In ancient Rome, they celebrated something called Saturnalia, a festival dedicated to the god Saturn. And this took place in December, just like Christmas. The summer time's governed by the sun, the winter time's governed by Saturn. Summer is life, the winter is death. December and winter is when the most deaths occur. So many people die in December. This is when Saturn harvests the souls. Christmas is actually Saturnalia, which is a celebration of death. Don't you think it's weird how we celebrate the winter death instead of having a celebration in the summer life? Symbolism literally doesn't lie. The word Saturn is Satan. Now, of course, Saturn is not a real human with a long beard. This is all symbolic.
So, why is it that so many of us are still in the dark about this?
Why wouldn't you be in the dark? You've been trained to be in the dark. Been trained. I mean, on Thanksgiving, we pray for the abundance. Now think about this for a minute. If I work for you and you pay me $1,000 a week, oh man. So one day I want to thank you. So do I give you a day for free? Or do I charge you $10,000? Which one?
Take free.
I guess I'd take the free day.
I'm not asking you, guess would you take? I said, if I'm talking about you, if I want to say thanks to you, do I give you a day for free or do I charge you $10,000? That's a simple question. Huh? I work for free. So on Thanksgiving, if that's the day we pray to the universe, thanks, then why don't we not eat that day? Why do you eat more that day than you eat any other day in the year? That's all I'm trying to say.
He's got a point.
I had a friend that in the comment section was telling me about how they use astrology basically against us. So I thought I would dig into it. So here we go. Holidays are aligned with powerful astrological portals, for example, solstices, equinox, full moons, etc., which are also times of heightened spiritual energy, which clearly can be used against us. And now I'm about to talk about that. So for one, they distract us during power portals. Holidays often occur at astrological gateways, like I said, solstices and equinoxes. And instead of tuning into the cosmic energy like rebirth, manifestation, ancestral connection, people are kept busy with shopping, drinking, and surface level celebration. For example, Christmas happens at winter solstice, which is the rebirth of light, but consumerism overshadows the actual solar rebirth portal. For two, they harvest energy. During major astrological alignments, millions focus their thoughts and emotions into the same direction. This collective energy can be directed or harvested by a system of power. For example, New Year's is the Capricorn Saturn time, and it should be about setting sacred intentions, but most people waste it partying, so their energy is scattered instead of grounded. For three, astrological archetypes are distorted. Each zodiac sign carries spiritual lessons. Holidays sometimes twist that energy. Each zodiac season carries spiritual lessons. Holidays sometimes twist that energy. Valentine's Day, which is Aquarius season, Aquarius rules collective and unity. The holiday narrowed it down to consumerize romantic love, which is limiting its true cosmic purpose. Halloween, which is Scorpio season. Scorpio is transformation, death/rebirth, spiritual death. Modern Halloween turns it into fear, horror, and superficial thrills, masking the ancestral/intuition portal. Go to part 2.
I got you, family.
So in part 1, I went over 3 ways that they use holidays against us. And now I'm going to go over the other 3 ways now. So, number 4, disconnection from lunar flow. Many ancient holidays followed the moon, which is new and full cycles, replacing them with the fixed solar or man-made dates, which weakens people's natural rhythm with astrology. For example, Easter's lunar roots got absorbed into religious narrative, cutting off awareness of how the moon plus the equinox energy support renewal. Number 5, astrological timing manipulation. Some holidays were deliberately shifted to overwrite older cosmic celebrations. For example, Christmas over Yule, which is the winter solstice. And it took a universal solar rebirth and narrowed it to one narrative. This keeps people tied to man-made calendars instead of the zodiac wheel plus celestial clock. Number 6, overindulgence weakens spiritual work. Many holidays align with portals of manifestation or shadow work, but they're associated with excess food, alcohol, distraction, which is lowering vibration at the very time when energy is most potent. For example, Thanksgiving, which is during Scorpio and Sagittarius cusp, could be a time for gratitude and ancestral honoring, but it's turned into indulgence and historical distortion. So in all, astrologically, holidays can be used against us when they pull us away from the natural flows, the sun and moon, distract us during cosmic thresholds, twist zodiac lessons into limiting stories, and redirecting collective energy into consumerism instead of consciousness. And of course, I didn't just come to bring you a problem. I also came with ways that we can shift the energy. We can shift the energy back to its original purpose. We can use holidays for spiritual power. So if you want that, let me know in the comments. Well, actually, I'm just going to make another part, so stay tuned.
Oh, I know there was another part.
And celebrated all these birthdays, all these holidays back to back, Christmas every year, Thanksgiving every year. It's draining your pocket every year. You're never happy after of it, but you keep on doing it.
Thanksgiving.
Listen, why the fuck you keep on doing it? It ain't never made you happy. Everybody like, man, Christmas coming up. I gotta buy this shit for this. Gotta get this for this kids. It don't make nobody happy, but everybody's still doing it. Wow. Listen, I'm just saying, I'm not gonna do things that make me unhappy. That's why you get that bad feeling before you buy everybody a gift. Do they deserve it? Because you're not supposed to do it. With a thing called a compass to tell you what to do and don't, but you keep going against it. You keep going against it for people. They tell you it's a Christmas, so you feel like you gotta buy shit. They tell you it's a Valentine's Day, you feel like it's time to love. They tell you it's a Mother's Day, you where your mama at, right? They are tricking you and pulling you on a string and telling you what to do. Stop playing with me.
I mean, he ain't wrong, though. He ain't wrong. And I know, like, for me, watching this video, it was hard at some parts of it. Go do your own research. Go do your own research. Gain that knowledge to see that these people, holidays are just a way for us to stay broke, poor and underpaid. Not underpaid. I don't know what word I'm looking for. And overworked. That was what I was looking for. Yeah, man. This is the world of holidays and where they originate from. And I know it sucks to find out the truth, but it's got to be done. And I'm not here to pacify you. I'm here to give you the knowledge as I get it, so you can start your own journey of healing. The sooner you heal, the quicker you can start doing what's really important, and that is tapping into who you truly are and why you're really here. The mission. The mission never changes. It's still the mission. We are all on a mission, and we've got to come together in unity. It's the only way. It's the only way. Unity, oneness, divine oneness. That's a whole nother video, though. Thank you for tuning in to Lady Boss Energy, where we uplift, motivate, and inspire each other. Let's get our shit together. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know somebody who you think would enjoy watching this, share it with them. I hope you have an amazing 24 and the best 7 yet. And I pray that divine radiates love and kindness and compassion and abundance and peace and joy and all the things over your life today, tomorrow, and forever. Till I see you on the next one, I love you.